Hey everybody, Pastor Sam with your verse of the day for Gospel Gunslingers. Today we're going to be in Malachi and we're going to talk a little bit. And if you're not in the game for giving, start thinking about receiving, because giving and receiving are linked. So I'm going to teach you how to receive. And soldiers in the field, let me tell you something. They're not believing God for a hamburger so much. They're believing God for $1 million jet airplane. They're believing God for a shipment of the supplies that they need. If you've never looked up cargo codes on the internet, check it out. But soldiers do literally pray for these kind of reinforcements. They're praying for naval gunfire. They're praying for $1 million missiles to come in, and that's what happens in the foxhole. So think about that. You need to know how to pray in what you got to have to come out on the other side or to bring it on the enemy. So let's look. Our verse of the day today is verse 14 of the first chapter of the book of Malachi. Now, I'm going to deviate greatly from what you've generally been taught about 501c3 megachurch giving and receiving. See, they took some of the principles that Oral Roberts developed and then perverted them to build what they wanted to build after man's kingdom, just to continue doing as if Jesus reproved the Pharisees of shutting the door of heaven in men's faces. So let's get to this first verse here while we're still in our early Twitter segment. But cursed be the deceiver which hath in his flock a male, and voweth and sacrificeth unto the Lord a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, saith the Lord of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen. All right. A lot of people are given the Schwag. You know, if they kick down at all, what they kick is the Schwag. They kick what they weren't going to use, what's left over, what's surplus, what is expired, what they didn't need, what they didn't really want anyhow, and they think, oh, I'll convert this into a tax write-off. Disgusting. So here's what the Lord says in verse 8. Offer it now unto thy governor. Yeah, how about you try kicking the Schwag to pay your taxes, and let's see how that works out. All right, if you're sticking around for the long play, this is going to be a lot more interesting. We're going to read this whole verse. Okay, verse 8. And if ye offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil? And if ye offer the lame and sick, is it not evil? Offer it now unto thy governor. Will he be pleased with thee, or accept thy person, saith the Lord of hosts? And now, I pray you, beseech God that he will be gracious unto us. This hath been by your means. Will he regard your person, saith the Lord? Now here's very interesting, verse 10, because this is the other side to giving and receiving. A lot of these preachers, and listen, we make fun of the MRE and say that the modern soldiers are so weak that if they don't have their Skittles, they won't fight. Okay, but preachers are worse, okay? So I'm talking about my people here. Verse 10, who is there even among you that would shut the doors for naught? Neither do ye kindle fire on mine altar for naught. I have no pleasure in you, saith the Lord of hosts, neither will I accept an offering at your hand. So how about that? The Lord reproves the preachers that won't get out and do it for free, that won't get out and do it because it's the right thing to do, that won't get out and do it and put their own skin in the game, even if they, like John G. Lake and approximately 20 missionaries of his team, married people with families, starved to death on the mission field in Africa, determined not to go home even though the support was not coming in. So see, those are the heroes. One time John G. Lake was invited to speak at a Bible school graduation of a Spirit-filled Bible school, and he stood up and he told this story, and he pointed at the people and he said, so if you're not willing to do that, he spoke to these young preachers and young missionaries, he said, do an honor to their memory and don't come pick up your diploma. So that's what John G. Lake said. If you're not willing to open the doors for naught, if you're not willing to kindle a fire on the Lord's altar and go in and fire up the prayer furnace without getting paid for it, then you're not even worthy to be counted among his holy ministers. So yeah, I know a little bit about giving, and I know a little bit about receiving. This is why I'm teaching you this, because this is why I move in the miraculous, because I honored my mentors, unlikely people, poor people, and I honored them and really went out of my way again and again to sow into their ministries, and that's why I move it in the miraculous today. I did not learn it at Bible school. I did not learn it at Oral Roberts University. I learned it from poor people on the mission field. So think about that. But there's something else that I have endured is long, other than giving and receiving, long seasons of opening the doors for naught, of kindling a fire for naught, and of doing the Lord's work when nobody was willing to pony up and help with one red cent. I'm Pastor Sam. That's your verse of the day for Gospel Gunslingers.